At last, here is the final instrument review for Rocksmith Piano. I've done a few piano teaching apps reviews such as Yousician and Simply Piano. How is Rocksmith's take on the ivory keys? Well, underwhelming, to be frank. What's going on, everybody? My name is Jenkins and welcome to my YouTube channel. I do challenges and reviews that are released every single Friday. Let's rock to that intro. No, you cannot play this one on the piano. Rocksmith doesn't have my intro there. And I think it's ukulele only, so it wouldn't be on there anyways. Roll it.
For self-improvement, crafts, and fitness games, go ahead and turn on YouTube and watch Jack.
Rocksmith Plus has been very difficult to review. While it does have some improvements over the previous entries, it is also missing a ton of different content. Content that was in the original game 15 years ago. For a monthly cost of $140, missing content from the decades past is zero excuses. The developers don't have any excuse. Why don't you have the stuff that was in there 10 years ago, even though your game's 3 years old now? However, there is one brand new thing that is in the Rocksmith game, Rocksmith Plus, that isn't in any of the Rocksmiths of the past. That is piano. That is right, you can hook up any keyboard to your computer through a USB audio interface or through like the microphone on like your phone even, and you can start playing the piano. You can also use your phone directly instead of just using it as a microphone. You can actually download the app and use it, but that's way too small of a screen for me, so I only used my computer. Adding the piano in was very simple for me to do. I am still new to the instrument, so I didn't record myself at all, but all I needed to do was just plug in the USB in the back of the piano, plug it in, and then Rocksmith recognized the instrument instantly. With all that said, let's get into what are the features of Rocksmith Piano and how does that compare to its competition, Yousician and Simply Piano. Well, there are both video lessons you watch, practice tracks to play, and real songs that you can rock out on. Just do. Video lessons do come up short, having just a way smaller library than bass and guitar on the same app. Of course, piano was released way further than them, so that's expected. The video quality is crisp and it walks through the different lessons, such as playing scales, octaves, and more. After the video, you would do a practice track, first with your left hand, then your right hand, and lastly you'll play it together. It's the same video and play technique that both of my before mentioned apps, Yousician and Simply Piano, used, and probably what every other app uses, since that's a pretty common way of teaching, at least on these apps. I've never done teaching in real life through the piano. I was a euphonium player in high school, which is an instrument most people don't even know what it is. It's like a baby tuba. When playing, you will see the notes come down from the top row. You must hit the corresponding keys that are highlighted. The colors correlate with the finger and hand that you strike with. There are numbers that you can turn on in the settings that associate each key to the note for easier use of practice. And by the way, sorry, the light's starting to fade out outside, so my face is starting to get darker over here. It'll look weird in the green screen, but this is reality, baby. So, you're the one on the right side, means that you hit the note with your thumb, and so on. I read online that these fingerings tend to be AI generated, and that kind of makes sense, as sometimes they'll have you like stretch your hand across like 8 keys when your one hand is completely free. Like you're stretching across 8 keys, and your left hand's just sitting there doing nothing. Like, why not move it over and play it together? It's just weird. Anyways, the note path doesn't have a countdown to let you know when to start and begin, which is something that I've requested back in the original Rocksmith all the way in 2011. So that is a major letdown. You can change the note highway to use the traditional staff style in the settings. However, I kept it as it was for the most part. As you can see on the screen, the presentation of Rocksmith Plus is pretty plain, but overall functional. You get the fingering, you get the lyrics on top. What else do you want? There are lyrics so you can sing the song as you play. If you missed a note, you'll see the dot on the timeline above. Play this section fully, and I'll have that weird little bubble effect. Keep playing perfectly, and the song will continuing to increase the difficulty until you just max out and playing like Bach. You can also set the difficulty in the beginning of the song, but I never touched this option to really get the feel of the algorithm. It did leave things a bit too easy for me for too long, but overall, that is preferable to making things hard way too quickly. Overall, I love the difficulty, and I really liked playing the piano in this whole highway system. I didn't prefer it to Simply Piano. I just think Simply Piano is the best. It's simply the best. The licensed songs in this game are pretty good. They are missing a lot of songs that are available for bass and guitar, such as the whole new Metallica catalog that they got, but what is here is pretty good. The songs range from country to classical to metal to children's songs. You know, I was sitting and rocking out to Elmo, and I just thought to myself, this is what technology's made for. Me, piano, Elmo. Life. There are thousands of songs to pick from, so there really isn't a problem if you have specific tastes. With the basic features outlined, the question remains whether or not I prefer Rocksmith Plus over the other apps. Of course, the answer will be the other apps for just a few reasons. First, the absolute lack of content. Simply Piano is by far my favorite of the three, and that is because the lessons are so much more in depth. 10 lessons cover what Rocksmith tries to do in one. They go from first hits to harmony in like 6 lessons, where it took me all 60 days to get to that point within Simply Piano. Simply Piano is just perfect in the way it presents things, at least according to me. As someone who takes year-long breaks in between instrument reviews, I vastly prefer the slower, in-depth lesson structure that Simply Piano and Yousician provides, rather than kind of like the speed-up one of Rocksmith. The second reason why I would not recommend Rocksmith Plus is because it's dead. All the way back in 2013, Ubisoft took down Rocksmith 2014, the previous installment of the series. Then they brought it back and announced the shutdown of Rocksmith Plus development studio Ubisoft San Francisco. That is basically telling everyone, do not buy the current version and instead use the old one as they brought it back because, you know, Rocksmith, the company that's making Rocksmith Plus, is gone. You can use the old one and basically you pirate the music into the game, so you have every track in Rocksmith plus every other song basically in existence. That sucks because piano is not in the previous installment of Rocksmith 2014, leaving this instrument dead forever in the Rocksmith saga. Well, of course, there are hundreds of different piano teaching software, so nobody is really crying about this except for me. This review will act as basically the ending of Rocksmith Plus reviews, basically the Rocksmith Plus review series in general, and basically a goodbye to the series, possibly forever. The company is still releasing songs for the game, but there are no more new features. The YouTube channel, where they announce new features and everything, hasn't uploaded anything in half a year, and all the tweets are about the collection of songs created by the overseas teams, and the fingering is created by the overall AI agents. In my eyes, the game is pretty much dead, and the series will basically be gone forever. That honestly doesn't shock me with how bad this game has reviewed. It's got an overwhelmingly negative review score on Steam due to the insanely high price and absolute lack of features that were in every other installment. Seriously, no minigames, there's no story mode, there's not really a point system, even though this would be perfect for leaderboards, there's nothing. It's just incredible how they've done nothing with this game. Developers worked hard and got the game to release at a reasonable state 2 years after the game was released. It was far too late, and the damage was done, and the studio is now gone. Rocksmith came out as an alternative to Guitar Hero Bandwagon. They did try to bring back Guitar Hero like 10 years ago. It failed miserably. No one bought that version. In fact, people still play the original PS2 guitar, even now to this day. As of the writing of this review, they are apparently making a mobile game for Guitar Hero, but no one's going to play it, let's be honest. No one's going to buy that crap. These instrument games are pretty much dead and has given way to the learning apps with elements of gamification such as Yousician, Simply Piano, and more. In some ways, this is actually a much better approach, but in other ways, it is sad. Rocksmith Plus and Rocksmith as a series may not have been the best, but it will always be in my heart. The original Rocksmith game was among my first video game reviews half a decade ago that I started this channel. That's right, I started this channel half a decade ago, got 700 subscribers, because let's be honest, this is just a dude in front of a green screen who doesn't even have the effort to fix like his video lighting and stuff. This is all 100% for hobby. To end this review, let's get into the statistics. Here's my chart for playing Rocksmith Piano. I did it for 40 days as I ran out of my subscription right before Christmas. And yes, I'm extremely late with these reviews. I get it. With that said, I had the game crash on me only once and played for a total of 11 hours, 52 minutes, and 27 seconds. That's an average per day playtime of 20 minutes and 21 seconds. I don't think I really improved that much on the piano with this game, but I really wasn't trying to focus on that. I was focused on trying to gauge what is Rocksmith Plus on this platform, what could have been, and what isn't it. And what it is basically gigantic potential that will never ever be realized. And I expect Rocksmith Plus to go down, if not this year, then next year. So guys, that's it for today's video review on Rocksmith Plus Piano. If you like this review, then watch the rest of my music reviews and Rocksmith reviews using the playlist button above. While you are up there in that playlist button, visit me on X and Instagram at TrueJackJank. That's at TrueJackJank, X and on Instagram. If you like my videos, visit my website, jack-jenkins.com. If you like YouTube, then you can subscribe to me on here. I put out a new video every single Friday at 6 a.m. CST, although I frequently am late with that because I am so busy with work and life in general. It's crazy. This YouTube channel, again, it's a hobby. If you don't want it to be, then subscribe, and I can hopefully make a little bit of money, and I can put more focus on this. If you have any video ideas on things you want me to do, then please leave them in the comments below. Lastly, I want all you guys watching to have an amazing day. If you want to improve yourself, you cannot do it alone. You can only improve together. Now is the part in the review where I take like a minute and just go off the cuff. No script or anything. I'm going to break the green screen for a second. Oh, God. Ugh. Man, I've been so thirsty. So my overall feelings, like I said, are so mixed. I really feel bad for the developers of Rocksmith Plus. They put their effort in. They did put the effort in. From what I gathered, it's probably hell to work at Ubisoft. They had rush deadlines to try and get this thing. Try and jump on the bandwagon of, oh, Yousician and all these other apps are popping off. We have a property that's for learning instruments. Hey, let's create a new version in like 2 years. They're like, It took us 5 years to get the first version, 4 years just to prove on that. We're going to have to do a whole new engine. And they were like, just do a subscription model. That way we can say, hey, we're improving this over time, and be like, no one's going to buy a subscription for this game. And then they did it anyways, and the subscription failed, and people were pissed because no one wants to buy a subscription for something like this. And I honestly, if they just went the DLC route and the one-time purchase, I think Rocksmith Plus would have killed. Just a 4K version. And I get what happened. The issue is with a lot of the licensed properties, they saw a lot of them getting pirated from the original version. That's why they went with the streaming thing. But at the end of the day, just build a great game with great features, set up the price, and people will pirate and hack and do all this stuff anyways. As long as you make the profit at the end of the day, you won't make as much. Just spelled all over myself. You won't make as much as with the DLC you would have been spending. You won't have as much popular songs, but you would still make a profit instead of going this other way where, you know, it ended up in disaster and the closing of the studio and all this other stuff. It's so sad. I loved Rocksmith. I still like Rocksmith Plus. I think it's okay. Not as good as 2014. It's really unacceptable for me that that's the case this far along in development. But, you know, 2014 is here. Go buy it. Learn guitar. And then play all the Metallica you want on a site that I can't mention. But you don't have to pay for it. There's no monthly subscription fee. Not saying what it is, but you're going to enjoy it. Take it easy. God dang, it got really dark outside. I'm not sure if you can tell in the video, but like my entire face is now like completely shrouded.